So, but then I also thought about it, right? When I see Everton lose 10 points, right? I think it's still early in the season. They can recover from this.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I would say that like their chances of relegation, right, is a lot slimmer even with the 10-point deduction. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Futbol Kaki. I am your host Eldad and I am joined by my fellow Kaki bro Paul. Paul, how are you doing?
I am good, brother. I am having a long Monday. How about you?
Oh, I also had a very long Monday, bro. I'm
really
like
the Monday blues, huh?
a lot of laboring things are like currently where I work, right? Like me and my colleagues, right? It's quite funny, we were talking to each other the other day. They were saying like, bro, I have never ever walked 12,000 steps in a week. Ever. Like last time, I was here. Now it's at least minimum 10,000 steps a day.
Good, what? That's good.
It's super tiring, yeah.
As in, a lot of people don't know that. Like they all think that you need to run to do cardio, right? But actually, like clocking in steps, all this is equally as beneficial, you know.
Yeah, bro. It legit is. Legit like
10,000 per day. That's like insane. Not many office people can even do that.
Bro, 10,000 a day is like, if you're really calculating, right, it's about close to 8 kilometers.
Yeah, it's like walking 8 km a day.
You're walking 8 km a day, which is like a lot of walking, a lot of cardio though. Like, and the thing is, you don't feel like it's a chore. Because it's just natural movement, natural habitats, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is a good thing, lah.
10,000 steps.
10,000, bro. The highest 10, I got, I think the highest I got in a day was about 14,000.
It's like you walk from where? Like Orchard to...
No, it's like you walk from... I think if you walk from Orchard, right? Like, let's say you walk from Taka to Plaza Sing to City Hall, then you walk all the way back, right? I don't even think it's 8 kilometers.
Depends. Yeah, actually, maybe not.
It's not because they calculate it's about 2 hours of walking to get that amount. It's really a lot. It means that if you walk straight for 2 hours.
That's insane, bro. Yeah, 10,000. That's good.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's quite tiring, lah. But what else? What I think? So, are you in the gym now?
Yeah, I went during lunch just now. Wow. Tired, bro.
You got time to gym during work,
Bro, my work has like the athletes gym.
Yeah.
So employees can use it also.
Oh, so it's a proper
like
gym.
Sports SG, huh? Yeah.
It's a proper gym, huh?
It's like the gym that national athletes use.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same lah. But there is only reason why we can only use it during lunch because it's not very crowded there lah. But after work and like weekends, it's more crowded for them. Yeah.
Okay. I think fair lah. At least we're all trying to get healthier now, especially me.
Age catch up, bro. So we have to do our part.
Bro, like the age catch up is real, dude. Like last time it was like, okay, I'm 23, 24, can do everything. Now at 30 plus, then you'll be like, oh, I cannot. Very tired already.
Technically, we're still in a stage where our metabolism is not slowing down yet.
It's not
as much.
It's not slowing down, bro. But
as compared to when we were 18, 19, different lah, for sure.
Yeah lah. Correct lah.
Because now we're all like working adults, like become like sedentary. Very easily you can become sedentary.
Oh yeah, you're not 30 yet. I just realized.
Hey, don't need to. I'm like, you know who I'm like? Jesse Lingard, always.
Shut up,
Whatever, there's potential in me always.
Bro, your Marcus Rashford forever under potential already. You don't know what, number 10. Wearing the jersey also.
I hope I can age like CR7.
Bro, I tell you, right, once you cross 30, right, like your entire body just feels weird.
I think that's a myth. It's a myth. It depends on your lifestyle, I feel lah.
No, but you will hear.
You can stretch it, right? You can stretch you can prolong your age. You can active age,
I think that's fine. It's just that naturally is when your body starts to like, you feel a bit more sore. Naturally.
Yeah, it depends on the nature of what you do, to be honest. If your office 9 to 5 every day, high chance, I think even at 22, 23 also, you can easily be sore, bro.
That's true.
That's true. If your job requires you to walk 10,000 a day, I think it's good for your body actually.
It is lah. I'm actually quite glad that I actually have a job that I can move around and walk rather than
like a 9 to 5 whole day, right? 8 hours on the chair.
On the chair lah, yeah lah. It's not true. I already sit on the chair at home enough already. But never mind. We have talked about health enough, right? Let's talk about money. Yes, which is basically what's going to happen today.
Health is wealth.
Wealth is wealth, right? But there is a point where it's just wrong. So, what we are talking about today is, of course, the big news that happened last week. Everton have been handed an official 10 points deduction for their breach, and must make this clear: their one-time breach of the profit and sustainability rules in the EPL, whereby the breach happened because they had suffered more than 105 million in losses over the span of 3 seasons. So EPL rule regulates, right, that you cannot have losses more than 105 million at totaling over 3 seasons. So on
But
average,
why?
right? Huh?
So what if you have more than 105?
No, it's just a rule and regulation. I'm
Like they
not
don't want you
really
to go bust that kind of.
They don't want you to go bust because the thing is that like.
But the 3 years is inclusive of COVID.
Okay, so what for this thing is unique situation because the COVID, if you were to include the COVID, right, is more than 300 million their losses.
Okay. Yep.
But the difference is that understanding that during this period, right, where they're triggering, because you're talking about 2021 to 2022 was the last season that they counted, right? So it means that you're talking about 2021, 2020. So 1920, 2021, 21, 22. 1920 and 2021 were COVID hit seasons, bah. So they've already removed the COVID losses from the equation. So meaning that you remove the losses regarding the.
So the 105 must not be, will be excluding the COVID losses.
Yes, excluding the COVID losses.
Okay.
If they were to include the COVID losses, it's about 300 mil.
Yeah, that one I think everybody will get it.
That one everybody hit. So the reason why is because they just want to make sure that you are not losing money that you cannot gain back.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
You get what I mean, right? Because on average, right, if you sell a certain amount of players, right, and you buy a certain amount of players, right, and you do wage bills and everything like that, right, by right, if you balance it out, right, it shouldn't be so heavy to an extent that you are losing money continuously. So meaning on average, right, you are losing about close to 35 million a year.
Yeah, which is not good.
Which is not good. So they don't want it to be a recurring thing. If it's a one-off, right, then you don't think that's fine. That's not a problem. But because they did this particular breach, and there's a whole host of other things, right? They ended up getting deducted 10 points, which is the thing that we're going to talk about today. So today, in this particular episode, right, what we're going to do is we're going to break down the show into 3 separate segments. So the first one, we're going to break down the Everton breach and the 10 points deduction. Basically, what's going on. Then, of course, we are going to talk about the other 2 teams that are going to be in the very big spotlight. They did the Battle of the Blues just before the international break. Now they're under spotlight again. Is Chelsea and Manchester City. And Manchester City have a total of 115 pending charges. Or 115 breaches. So whether or not they're going to get charged on every single breach is another thing to discuss. So we're going to talk about that. And also, we're going to also talk about Chelsea. Chelsea is a very different thing. And you must understand that with Chelsea, right, they spend $1 billion is one thing for the transfer windows, right? But some of these things that they're looking into, right, is happened during the time of Roman Abramovich. So we have to make it clear to everybody, you're separating Roman Abramovich and Todd Bowley. It's 2 separate things.
Yep.
So we have to make it clear for everybody. So let's begin with the Everton thing. So for everybody, right, to get basic information and what we already explained, right, is that Everton are being charged with a 10-point deduction, right, based on their losses over a 3-year period of 105 million. That's what they are specifically being charged for. There are other situations and there are other instances regarding this thing. So they have been charged for 105 million, right? Essentially, what this does is that Everton have lost 5 places. They dropped from 14th to 19th. And they are, like at fault for this thing. And to make it clear, right, to just don't want to, tell everybody that it's like, the Premier League is being biased, right? The investigation was carried out by independent commission. So it means that it's an independent third-party commission, right, that is actually the one that investigated Everton, and then the Premier League rolled out the ruling accordingly, and the final thing. So it means that the PL did their investigation, they handed it over to the third party found out these concurring things, then the Premier League gave the punishment accordingly, So I think that's one thing we have to make clear, So, bro, let's just start with this, right? What was your reaction when you found out that the 10-point deduction was happening?
As in, my automatic reaction was like, okay, so finally EPL did something to a club that breached like a financial rule. Then when I thought about it, I was like, okay, so what's next? Who is next? Like where is Chelsea? Where is Man City? What is going to happen to them as well? So, but then I also thought about it, right? When I see Everton lose 10 points, right? I think it's still early in the season. They can recover from this.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I would say that their chances of relegation, right, is a lot slimmer even with the 10-point deduction. Because we've done our relegation episode earlier, right? Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United are not doing great.
Yeah, and they're like so close to each other. Like
Yes.
20th is Burnley 4 points, Everton 4 points, Sheffield 5 points, Luton
Yeah.
6 points, Bournemouth 9
Correct.
points. So it's still within like 1 or 2 wins from each other. Yeah.
Yep. So if they were to just roll together a string of victories, right, they should be able to survive the Premier League. But it's more towards, I think, like for you also, your understanding is that it's a small victory for clubs because like you breach financial
You should
rules,
pay
right?
for it. Yeah.
You should pay for it, lah. Which is what we said also last time when we were talked about the initial list of
Yes.
charges that Man City did. It's like if you break
If
the
you
rules,
cheated,
right,
yeah, lah,
you
if you
should
cheated,
pay,
you
lah.
should, yeah.
But ask you, like, okay, 10-point deduction is one thing, right? But do you think it was harsh?
I think it was a bit harsh.
Really, yeah. Okay, why?
It's not like they can control their losses. It's not like they money laundered, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not like they bribe referee. Those are to me are more severe.
Yes.
Like what apparently Man City are facing is they did some hidden contracts, all this, right?
Yep.
To play around the
We'll talk
system.
about later.
Yeah, correct. And then Chelsea they did also some offshore. They did like external things that in a way benefited them, like.
Yep.
And also Everton didn't really win anything except the only thing is I read is the relegated clubs last season they are damn angry now because Everton was supposed to get relegated last season.
Yes.
In a way because he was one of the relegation teams. So when this came out, I think Leicester and is it Bournemouth? No, not Bournemouth.
No, Bournemouth is in the PL, bro.
Yeah. Leicester. Who else? Okay, the other two clubs. Yeah.
Yep.
They were angry because they were apparently now they want to sue Everton also.
Yes, I heard. I saw that
because of this. It's like it's just proof that you guys broke the rules and then you shouldn't even be. It's like you're fighting on unfair grounds. Yeah. But but to be honest, to answer your question, I think 10 point is a bit harsh because of things they cannot really control.
Okay.
How do you control like losses? It's like, unless you don't buy players.
Okay. I think what we have to get into is that basically there's some information that I also want to show. But before we get into it, I think I just want to say that the other two clubs are Leeds United and Southampton.
Yeah.
Everton beat Leicester by 2 points for relegation, right? And Leeds was 5 points lah. So if let's say they were to have the deduction on 5, right, Leicester would have survived.
Yeah.
Leeds would have gone down.
And then in turn, it's like because when you go to Championship, you lose all the broadcasting rights, all the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. So it has a monetary effect on the teams that got relegated lah. So that's one thing. Okay. I would say that after doing my own research, right, I would say that the 10-point thing is kind of justified. And here's the reason why.
Okay.
I'll explain why. So there is two things. One is that after the Premier League knew that Everton were facing like some financial losses and everything like that, right? For about a few seasons, right, the Premier League actually were advising Everton, right, not to spend on transfers. Because at a certain point, right, there was a period whereby for every type of transfer that had to be done, right, it had to be approved by the Premier League because the Premier League were aware of the financial issues that Everton were already having already.
Like
so
they were already being marked already.
Yes, they're already being marked already. So Premier League's claims and their grounds was that, okay, I've already advised you and I've told you saying that do not overspend or do not spend beyond your means, because if this happens and you continue your incurring loss, you're going to hit more than 105 million in losses and you're going to have a breach.
Okay, yep.
So because of that, right, Premier League already gave you a warning already. So it means that Premier League can see it coming. Because if you're asking for 3 financial years, right, technically if you're planning over 3 years, right, you can actually prevent losses of 105 million. There are ways to do it. Right?
Which you broke down 35 million per year, right?
Yes, correct. So if you know that you're going to be in 35 million hit, right, most businesses in general will try to prevent having that 35 million repeated for the next year. Because 35 million in losses is a lot of money.
That's true. Yeah.
On top of the COVID losses that you're already facing already. So you're already at that point. So the players, they spend a lot on transfers. Everybody knows that. And plus, they got new ownership also coming in at the same time. Then for the stadium, right, the Premier League also claims that the funding or the declaration of the amount of money, right, was not true. Or it was like they misled them. So what happened, right, is that Everton has this company, they created this company called Everton Stadium Development Limited. Yeah, so basically, right, the company on the outset, it looks like, okay, I bore the financing cost by way of interest and arrangement fees and everything like that, right? But what actually is, right, is actually a subsidiary of Everton Football Club, right? And the money, which was estimated to be, the stadium is estimated to be a 750 million pound stadium. The money, right, was dependent on loans from Everton Football Club. So if you're loaning out money, you are losing money.
The money's out, right? Not in.
The money's out, not in, it's out.
So they use the allocated money to fund this organization.
To fund this stadium lah. So basically, it's left pocket, right pocket.
Okay, but you take out of your left pocket, then your reserve and everything go down. Right?
Yeah, your reserve everything down lah. So what happens is that what you are displaying to me is not accurate representation of your finances, ma.
Yeah.
The 10-point deduction, right, based on just the 105 million in losses, right, is actually, I think, is like
somewhat justified.
Because if you're doing that, right, it means that there's a whole lot of money, right, that you're not actually declaring to the Premier League, but the Premier League let you go.
Yeah, I understand.
You get what I mean?
I get what I mean.
Based on that, right, and also on top of this, right, like Everton's wage bill for the 21-22 season, right, was 162 million.
162 million.
So 162 million, bro, and you're still losing 35 million per season on average.
21-22, right?
Yeah, correct. So after all the things that they deduct, the estimated loss is about 112 million, if I'm not mistaken, for Everton. So now after I frame this for you, right, you can see why I think the 10 points is justified, right?
Yeah, but okay, then, but in terms of like their sales, like their money they're earning back.
Money that they're earning back, that one I'm not sure, bro. Like I don't think it's a lot also.
Because I saw like but this season they bought the past few seasons they've been spending quite a bit, you know.
Correct. But
I mean, like they sold Dine.
But Dine was the biggest sale was they sold Richarlison for 60 mil. 60 mil is not a lot also. If let's say we're counting like 21-22, right? Like Richarlison was sold in the 22-23, right?
Yep.
Beginning of thing, right? So technically Richarlison was still on payroll at Everton.
Yeah. And before that.
Yeah. So it means that they didn't sell anybody until after the period whereby they already breached already.
Yeah, but I thought the Everton owners are quite rich.
They are, but
then you are allowed to work on the stadium with separate money, right?
Okay, so let's say for Everton, right? From my understanding, it's basically the connection cost was by way of interest and any type of arrangement fees, rather than like direct club expenditure. So it means that it's a separate company, ma. But the thing is that they are doing intercompany loans, so meaning that I'm loaning from A to B, but I'm loaning from Everton Football Club.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't make sense, lah.
Correct. Because it's Everton Stadium Development Limited. It's a thing from Everton Football Club, ma.
The money that they loan out is from their profit and loss, lah, right? Which is their annual revenue.
Correct.
Every club that has the annual revenue, right?
Correct. So the thing is, you loan out money, right? The only way you're going to get it back, right, is when you get the loan value plus interest, ma. So that's when you're actually making money. If they haven't given you back the money, right, technically it's still written off as a loss, ma. Until you officially get the loan money paid back in full plus the interest.
It will just be like a negative amount, right?
Yes, correct. So your profit is actually the interest, ma. But if they're not paying you back and they haven't paid you back interest, right, you're still losing money. I think like overall 10 points is fair, but before we go into the next portion, right, I think with Everton, I think this one is the shocking news for everybody. Basically, like, what type of message does this send for everybody?
I think it sends that Premier League doesn't want to have the reputation of having. You see, because now they currently have two clubs that before Everton they have two clubs under investigation already, right?
Yes, correct.
They don't want to have the reputation of allowing clubs like keep abusing the system or like breaking the rules and not pay the punishment, lah.
Correct.
Yeah, so because if like Everton now they clearly already broke the rule for 3 seasons in a row, and if Premier League don't do anything, then I think it'll be quite every club will just do the same thing, no? Everyone just follows.
So let's talk about the other club, our favorite club in the entire world, Manchester City, right? They are one of the 2 other teams that are currently under investigation, right? And we've already done an episode on basically detailing what has actually happened with this particular thing. We will not go into full details. If you want to go and look at that, right, we will actually provide a link on our description to actually link you back to that particular episode where we're talking about Man City and the financial rules, lah. So, Man City have broken 115 financial rules over the space of about 10 years.
No, 2009 to 2018, right?
2018, about close to nine seasons, lah. And the interesting part is that the rule that they have broken, right, they've broken the same rule as Everton 3 times. So the thing is that, okay, for me, I look at it this way. 30 points, ah. So if you're going, if the standard is 10, right?
No, 10 per charge.
10 per charge. So if let's say you're talking about 10 per charge, and bro, Twitter is like running regular. It's like, 10 per charge, right? So 10 times 150 is 1,150 points.
It's like relegate 4 leagues, 4 or 5 leagues instantly.
You relegate. Then the meme was like, Erling Haaland scoring his 147 goal against Stockport. Then it's the meme of just Messi scoring the free kick and it just goes like this. The whole thing, right? But I mean, let's just talk about this lah. Like, they're basically the breaches, right? In summary, are not declaring payments made to managers and players. Basically, it's paying managers and players, right, extra, but not declaring it in the contract that is supposed to be paid. So
they had private agreements and all that.
Yes. So according to EPL rules, right, any type of transactional or monetary transaction, right, between the club and a player or a manager or employee, it has to be written in their contract. So meaning that if, let's say, for example, if you have player A has 100k wages a week with a 1 million bonus for 30 goals plus an extra bonus of 200k for every trophy won, for example, something like that. Those bonuses are declared, stated there, clear cut, black and white, so that the club can only pay the player based on these particular clauses and these type of monetary transactions. Everything has to be stated there, so that in any event when there's a payment slip that goes out, right, it's justified saying that,
and it's in like when they do audits, they can see.
Correct. Right? They can see financial audits because the Premier League is a very big organization,
Yep.
Yeah, it's separate from the FA, Premier League is Premier League. Where with that, Man City didn't declare. So some of the players got additional payments on top of what they were actually written in. So that's already one breach already. Others is that they didn't submit their accounts on time when required. They didn't submit their financial projections on time when required. They suffered losses of 105 million over 3 seasons, more than 3 times.
And this is just not the full 150 charges.
And this is just some of it only. And also, like, I think, and so these are the tips of the but these are the more major ones, lah.
Yep.
And they've done, and the thing is that there's been multiple offenses of the same offenses being repeated over different seasons. So if you're repeating the multiple offenses, you're thinking you can get away with it, right? You punish Everton for one, bro. Ask you, what type of punishment does Man City deserve?
I think something to please everybody. I think would be relegation,
It has to be, right?
It's like the bare minimum. Yeah, bare minimum. It's like how Juventus got relegated in 2005, right? Is it 2004? Yeah. It should be that level, lah. That it's the same kind of what you call that, scale.
Yeah.
Maybe we cannot take that. We cannot take back the EPL trophies they won. That'll be too far fetched, lah. But I think you can, moving forward, you can relegate them first. Instant.
Correct. But the thing is that the gripe that other clubs will be like, it's very similar to Leicester. So
So it's like Liverpool, Man U, Arsenal, even Arsenal last year.
Yeah. All of us will have a gripe basically saying that, hey, you breached the rules, right? We all stay in accordance to it, right? We did everything according to the rule book, right? But then what? Then because you cheated, right, you won the league. Yeah,
so I think from 2009 to 2018, right, I think Man U will have won one more.
Man U will have won
2 more. The Mourinho second.
Man U will have won 2.
Yeah.
Man U will have won 2.
Liverpool will have won 1 more, I think. Yeah.
Yes. So it would have been essentially just saying that, like, we should have,
in those years that they won, right? They won it illegally,
Yes, correct. So that would have been the gripe, right? But the thing is that it's unrealistic to be able to take a trophy off, because in the football purity sense, right? Let's say you just remove all the things, right? Man City were the better team in all those seasons, lah. That one is fair. So by just that, if this is the case, right, like minimum relegation, right?
Yeah, it's like minimum. Maybe two divisions can
mean that they have to go to League One.
Yeah, League One. Not even the Championship, League One.
I think
it's fair. 1 season relegation, they'll be back in no time.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. I think 2 will be justice.
And I find that they have to get this hit because it's not fair to everybody else. Right?
Yeah, they could have been. They may have been breaking it now. As we speak, we also don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. Man United are in debt, right? But we've always reported everything correctly.
Yeah, but debt, we're not in loss.
We're not in loss.
Yeah. So we're not in. There's no loss in our annual reports.
Correct. We always make money. We always make money on.
As negative we are upon the Glazers, right?
Yeah.
Every year we don't go into debt. We don't go negative in our annual reports.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah, so, but the debt grows. So it's another different story.
Yeah. So I think for Man City, we all agreed that relegation at least 2 divisions will be adequate punishment.
But I think maybe as long as they get relegated, I'll be okay. That's fair.
Go National League, then welcome to Man City. The documentary is that welcome to Wrexham.
Bro, imagine if they relegate, how many of them will leave?
Confirm, bro.
Then players like Dilap will start to play.
Yeah.
Rico Lewis maybe can get snatched by somebody.
No, I think a lot of them will go already. Because it tarnishes a lot of things for them. I think the reputation, if you do that, is gone already.
But the only thing I was a bit like, this Pep is a bit hypocritical. Because when they were accused of it like 2 or 3 seasons ago, remember he said like, the owners did not make this known to me. And if I knew about this, the next day I would not be at the club. That was his words. He said he doesn't know anything. Yeah, but if he finds out anything that is illegal, right, he will leave the club instantly. But now he say like, oh no, we have to stay together, And now he wants EPL to faster resolve this,
No, but I tell you, bro, you get relegated to the bottom.
He's gone.
He's gone also. Yeah. So no matter what you say, right, any top level manager will just leave already. Man City will be left with nothing. But we shall see. There is no actual date for the verdict for Manchester City's financial breaches yet, but I think both of us agree that minimum is relegation at least 2 divisions.
At least relegate them.
Yes, correct.
And the severity of it, then we can see how.
Correct. Okay, so now moving over to the other side of
Chelsea.
Blue. Chelsea. Okay, I think for Chelsea, right, the main thing is not really the loss. I think it's more towards secret payment and offshore accounts. Basically, you're not declaring the money, you're not declaring your expenditure correctly.
Means your money is moving, but nobody knows about it.
Correct. So what's happening is that unlike Manchester City, where it's outright they are breaking the financial fair play, right? Chelsea is doing it in a way that they are balancing their books. To me, from what it seems. So what's been called into question, right, is basically that during the period when they were under Roman Abramovich, there were a lot of rumored payments from offshore companies or separate companies that were owned by Roman Abramovich, right, to player agents and people that had a very significant role in bringing specific players or managers to the club. So meaning that you're talking about agents of Eden Hazard, Antonio Conte, and a few others. Scouts or agents or whichever, somebody that had a role in bringing the club. So what's happened?
In a way, it's like bribery.
No, I won't say in a way it's bribery. It's more or less like, I promise you this amount of money.
You bring this player to the club.
You bring this player to me. It's not really a bribe. It's more like a transactional favor, a favorable transaction. So meaning that according to this, what happened is that by right, any type of payment made to an agent has to be declared by the club. Because it's the club expenditure, you are paying a certain amount of agent fees.
Transfer fee.
The transfer fee, whichever, right, to the person, right, with the club. Either that or the player has to give a certain percentage of the transfer of the fees or everything to broker the deal to the agent. What this means is that an agent can earn a certain amount of money based on the transfer. That's their commission or that's whatever they make. How Chelsea beat this is that Roman Abramovich has certain offshore companies, meaning that subsidiary companies or other companies which he owns that are actually doing the particular transaction. So meaning that, let's say for example, if I bring in player A, I'm paying 100, maybe 60 million for this particular player, right? On the books, it only says that, okay, I'm paying 60 million for player A.
Yep.
But then, off the books, non-Chelsea transaction, I'm paying 7 million to the agent.
So it's a 67 million.
It's a 67 million transaction, but only 60 million is returned. So you imagine, right, if I do that thing times 5, so meaning that I have 35 million extra that I have expenditure because I have to pay every agent 67 million, about 7 million extra, right? So that's 35 million off my books to balance my sheet.
No, it's like you are adding. No, you are buying. You are paying things, but you don't declare them.
Yes. So it's basically hidden transactions. So meaning that there's 35 million that I spend, right? But to everybody else, that 35 million is not. I only spend 60 million. I only spend like maybe about, let's say 7 transfers are 420 million, right? And 60 million per transfer, right? But the actual value is 455 million that I'm spending. So that's $35 million wipe out pay. That 35 million is basically like unaccounted for loss.
Yep.
So it means that if, let's say, for example, my total revenue share is 500 million. And then my declared amount is maybe about 450. Yeah, that's 80 million. But the actual fact is that 80 minus 35 is like what, 55 million?
Yep.
45 million about there. So it's like, hey, I declare this, right, then I can get away with it. Because on my books, everything is written accordingly to the Premier League. So this type of shitty tactic, bro, is basically the Premier League rules it as like incorrect declaration. They're not declaring their finances accurately, and they could be hit with a few other breaches. So what's your thought? This is not as severe as Man City, but it's still bad.
Yeah, it's still trying to play the system in a way,
Yep.
And of course, we're not like business people, like people and all that, right? But I feel that if it's an expenditure to the club, right, with like direct impact, right? Like let's say you're signing a key player, then it definitely should be recorded into the annual report.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, so it's just that because this Roman Abramovich owns many accounts, offshore like companies, right? So I feel that to him it's like doesn't matter where I pay them from, it's still my money, You get what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. You're not wrong.
It's like I'm just moving my chess pieces around.
Yes, so it's left pocket, right pocket. No, left pocket, put here, go to somewhere, somebody else's hand, goes out the other way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, this one, right, what's the expected? What do you think is an adequate punishment?
I mean, if Everton got a 10-point deduction, maybe this one more of a point deduction.
I think.
But okay, I wouldn't say it's as severe as City, but it has to be more than Everton.
100%.
Yes.
So what I think, right, is essentially, right, just relegate to Championship. That's it.
No, but the thing is, I think this Ted Bowley, right, he's a bit open about it, right?
No, okay, Todd Bowley, right, he's open about it, right, but I think there's other issues that is there. How do you spend 1 billion on transfers in two windows? Because
a lot of them, he give giant contracts, like 10 years, 8 years. Yep. Do you majority of the transfers are all like installments?
Yeah.
So they don't technically they haven't spent like a billion,
No, I mean that projected value is $1 billion, but it's over the cost of spend of amount of money, which is actually smart business lah.
Yes. So they actually sold a lot of players. That it's actually quite good. They sold like Havertz and Mount for like 100+ million.
Yep.
Apparently, I don't think they have any issue with the spending of 1 billion lah.
Yeah.
It's more of this thing hovering over Chelsea said is the current situation in the past.
No, it's because it's considered shady lah. That's what I think lah.
Yeah, it definitely is, bro. Yeah.
So I mean, if it's considered shady, right, then I think there's
But you think to you a fair will be relegation?
I think relegation because you can't deduct 50 points. Right?
Yeah, because they don't even have 50 points now. Yeah,
they don't have 50 points. So how do you deduct 50 points?
Okay,
like if you
deduct relegation, is it instant or what?
I would say
Juventus was instant, right?
But the thing is, Juventus did it off season.
Or the punishment was off season.
The punishment was off season. So the next season they immediately went to Serie B.
Yeah.
So and their titles got taken away. So the thing is, with them, I would say that you can do instant relegation, right? Okay, I would say that Man City's one should be instant relegation.
Yeah, or like now.
Like now.
Make sure you report to
next week you go already lah. And
then
I feel that
all this how?
Okay, here's the thing. Right? I think it has to be a domino effect because if the Premier League does it right, UEFA has to do something. There's no way UEFA doesn't know. Yeah. So what I think is going to happen is that it will be a domino effect. Whatever the Premier League does right will have a domino effect on Man City, right? Especially UEFA, because if it's an instant relegation or it's an instant punishment, right? Then like that, all the clubs in the entire Champions League will dispute already, bro.
Yeah, then it's like they're here illegally, right?
Yeah. I can dispute already. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a domino effect lah. So same thing. I think, bro. I think you okay? We conclude here with the Chelsea part. I think more or less thing lah. So
yes, bro. I agree with you lah. Maybe both teams should be relegated.
Both teams should be relegated, right? Yeah. But City should be handled a more severe one, right?
Yeah. Maybe 2 or 3 divisions. Yep.
So I do agree also, and I think that because of that, because I think 115 bridges is way too much. Considering that Everton got a 10-point deduction, 115 you cannot waive off a lot of things. You look in the Premier League. You
like okay, maybe 115. Maybe you can successfully defend maybe like 40%, 30%.
Maybe
You can't defend all, right?
You can't.
There are charges that is clear cut like breach of rules that kind.
Bro, all of it is clear cut breach of rules.
Yeah, that's why. But I know this Man City owner, they have good lawyers lah.
I mean, having good lawyers is one thing, but the thing is that a rule is there.
Yeah, it's written black and white.
And the thing is that, like, let's say financial documents, you're supposed to submit it by the end of March. I think if I'm wrong, at the end of March, right? They can confirm track the date that you submitted it, what?
Yeah, all late, right? Yeah.
All late, what? So if
and it's multiple times that they've submitted it.
It's multiple times. And documented based on the documents that you're giving me, you cannot turn back, what? You submitted it years ago, what? So if you were to turn back and you were to say, right, then technically it's fraudulent documentation. Then
correct.
In essence,
tampering of evidence.
It's a bigger breach of rules already. Right? So yeah, I think that's what we're looking at. So I think we both agree that both clubs should get relegated. But we do both agree that City's one should be more severe than Chelsea, right?
Yes.
100%, right? Okay, for everybody else, we don't know when the verdict is up for Chelsea. We shall see, and we shall see what's going to happen, right? But even though we have agreed that Man City still deserve to get relegated, right? They still have a match to play this weekend, lah. So we still have to talk about the Man City versus Liverpool match, which is, of course, our football Kaki match of the week. Now, for everybody who are just tuning in, right? Me and Paul are having a small competition where every week we will predict the scoreline for each match, and the winner is declared by the player who predicts the scoreline that is closest to the actual scoreline. So, for example, meaning that if, let's say, for example, the final score is 1-0, I predict 2-1, Paul predicts 2-0. Paul wins.
Yes.
Because Paul predicted the clean sheet, I didn't.
Okay, yep, let's go.
But in a situation whereby, let's say, for example, the final score is 2-1, Paul predicts 4-1, I predict 3-1, I win. Because I'm the closest, I'm closest to the 2-1. So the under wins. So currently, based on the previous result last week, right, by Chelsea and Man City drawing 4-4. I don't know how that happened. And Paul's score prediction, right, he won lah. He won last week's the previous match of the week lah. So this week we are going to do the predictions again for the Man City versus Liverpool game, which of course is going to take place at the Etihad. But before we get into that, let's just do some deep dives and some interesting facts lah. So Paul, bro, I was doing the calculation, right? This game actually the stakes super high.
It is, bro. It's better for top spot, bro.
No, it's better for top spot, right? And the thing is that if you lose and the other clubs win you can drop like 3 places or 4 places one.
Yeah, definitely.
It's ridiculously crazy one. Like let's say for example, like you hear this, you see how you want to react. Like if Liverpool lose to Man City, right? Spurs, Arsenal, and Aston Villa win, right? Liverpool go from 2nd to 5th.
Yep.
So they lost 3 positions, man.
Yes.
Because
bro, I tell you, even if they draw, right, and Arsenal wins, both teams lose their position.
Confirm or no? Because like we have to just let everybody know again, right? Like the gap between 1st and 5th, right, is 3 points.
Yep.
3 points. So it's currently from 5th to 1st is Villa with 25, Spurs with 26, Arsenal 3rd with 27, Liverpool 27, City with 28. So if City beat Liverpool, right, and Spurs, Arsenal, and Aston Villa win, Liverpool drop to 5th, everybody else goes up 1 position.
Spurs is playing Aston Villa, so
yeah, correct.
Yeah, they're taking balls off each other. So either one will win.
Either one will win lah. So either way, they won't have a effect, right? But if let's say for example City lose and Spurs and Arsenal win, right? City drop to 4th.
Yeah, it's a high stake game, bro. Like you said,
bro, it's crazy. Like you make a mistake now, you can drop points one.
You can lose position one. Yeah. I think it's really. Yeah, but I think it'll be a very tough game to call.
I think so also. Because Liverpool and Man City have always been hard games.
They're always going back and forth. But if there's one person that can beat Pep, it's always Klopp.
Yes.
Yeah, and also not to mention if you were to look at the squads now, maybe Man City, right? I think Haaland was injured during international break.
He was, but I think it's not as severe. So he's expected to be back for this game.
So like a precaution lah.
Yes, and Ederson also because he missed the international break after the injury he faced at Chelsea, right? But he's expected to recover in time for this game also. So Ederson and Haaland, right, which are the two expected major injuries, are likely the ones that are going to be okay. I think for them it's more like Ake and Kovacic who are to be confirmed. They don't really know what it is because Ake, I think he was pulled out of the squad for the Chelsea game, right? Nathan Ake.
Yes.
Kovacic, I think he has a muscular injury. So even if they lose Ake and Kovacic, I don't think they're in a bad bind because they still got Haaland, Ederson back. And even if Haaland doesn't start, right, you still got Julian Alvarez, right?
Julian Alvarez has been playing all this while with Haaland. So I think, because he's been playing the centre forward position slightly behind.
Yeah, but you got Doku also.
Jeremy Doku. Yeah, what a player, man.
Bro, he's a star, bro. Like, I think he's a really very good player.
Yeah, but Liverpool hot form, bro.
I mean, Liverpool hot form, right? But Robertson...
Bro, it's okay. They're beating Simicast there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Robertson's out, injured, right? Gravenberch expected to return also.
Yeah, but so far they've been playing McAllister.
But McAllister was suspended for the previous game, but he's back also.
Yeah.
So that midfield, I don't think it's going to be...
It's the attack that will cause trouble.
Yeah, the Liverpool attack, right?
Yes. Darwin Núñez. If he probably he needs like 1-2 shots out of 5, that kind, you know.
Correct. So I mean, we are looking at that, and I think that it's going to be interesting because I think just like you, right? I can't do a really heavy like saying that there's a clear definitive winner here.
Yes,
it's really 50-50 because
maybe City got a slight edge because it's at Etihad.
Maybe, but I also think that both teams are going in at their strongest.
Yep.
So their main players are fully fit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, bro, Szoboszlai is also good.
Oof, like a baby Gerrard.
Wow, he's super good, bro. Like him and Gravenberch together is really very, very good.
Alright, shall we proceed?
Yes. So,
highlight of the week again.
Yes. Okay. So, we're going to do our match predictions now. The highlight of the week, right? Winner gets a point. If you predict the exact same scoreline, right, you get 2 points. So currently, is 1-0 to Paul because we've only done it the first time. Like what we explained earlier, closest to the scoreline wins already lah. So, bro, to start, since you are the winner, you get first prediction. What's your prediction?
I'm gonna say 2-2. Wow. 2-2.
Oh, wow, 2-2. Wow. Okay, 2-2. Okay, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go 3-2 Liverpool.
City Liverpool, okay.
Liverpool.
Okay, so if City wins, then how?
Okay, if City wins, then
we see the score. Like 2-1, then how?
We see the score. If 2-1, then you win already.
Okay,
like I said, closest, bro. Under gets everything. Closest. But if let's say, for example, they do whatever, I think. So the thing is that there's no such thing as a draw here or a point deduction, right? Somebody will get a point.
To you, you think?
Yeah, me and you.
Okay.
Like between me and you, like somebody will get a point. Like there's no such thing as draws between the two of us, man.
Yeah.
So
okay,
Yep. All right. So I think so Paul's prediction is 2-2. I predict a 3-2 victory for Liverpool. Yeah. So bro, before we conclude this episode, anything else you want to add?
Man U should be a 21-time champion. Liverpool, at least Liverpool will be the same as us.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. So yeah, bro. All right. So that is it for this week's episode of the Futbol Kaki. All right, so that is it for this week's episode of the Futbol Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Podcast Network. Now, for those of you who are listening, we just want to say thank you for your support, and we hope that you continue to support the Chit Chatter's other shows, which of course include the Copy Bros every Monday, including Paul, Midat, Brandon, and Sin Yong, where they talk about different topics. They did a Running Man episode this week, so for those of you who are fans of Running Man and love the cast like Lee Kwang Soo, Haha, Gio, they just do tune in for the episode. They have a lot of interesting views and funny conversations and memories about Running Man. Then, of course, if let's say you like game shows, we do have the SG Draft every Friday, where both shows involved are, of course, the Kopi Bros and the Futbol Kaki, we are both involved in that show where we come together and draft about different topics and have fun while we do it. Last week, there was a small wins draft, which was pretty entertaining. Yes, I agree with Gordon, right? Parallel parking, if you do it correctly, is a small win. It's a very big small win. And of course,
I think it's a big win.
Bro, it's a super big win. Like, it's more of a win to me, right?
It's too big than a small win.
It's a much bigger win to me, right? Than compared to when the car park actually don't work, right? Then they allow you to go in to go past for free parking. That is one of the things. But yeah, so do look out for our shows, and we've got a few fun drafts coming up for you on the XG draft, right? So Paul, before we go, you got anything you want to say?
Let's go, Brand. Football is back this week.
Yes, let's go.
We had a boring
Football is back this
weekend, yeah.
Yes, football is back this week. We've got the first game of the weekend is, of course, the Man City versus Liverpool game, followed by Spurs and Aston Villa immediately after that. So for football fans, we are glad that the EPL is back. We hope that you have a great weekend watching football and that we will have our recaps of those games next week, unless some very big story appears like this week in Everton, right? We also do want to hear from you, right? Like, leave your comments on what type of punishment Man City or Chelsea should be able to get, should be getting for their financial breaches. So, yeah, from me and Paul at the Futbol Kaki and from everybody at the Chit Podcast Network, we just want to say thank you and bye-bye.